with a special video because today is my birthday. It's my 31st birthday, so I have seen this video going around when people post a video on their birthday, and it is like the number of years they are, that many things they've learned in that many years. So this is gonna be 31 things I've learned in the last 31 years. I feel like most of these are things I've probably discovered or learned in the last like 5 to 10 years, but we're just gonna say 31 things I've learned in 31 years. This is going to be a mixture of serious stuff and funny stuff. So it's kind of like a nice variety of both. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie. I hope you enjoyed this video and decide to stay a while by hitting that subscribe button. And if you'd like to give me a birthday present, you can do so by just hitting the thumbs up button and the notification bell. That way you're notified of any new videos that come up. And now let's just get into the 31 things I've learned in the last 31 years.
Hey, no, no, hey, no.
First thing is quality over quantity. Now this can apply to many different areas in your life. For me, it really applies to friendships. I'd rather have a small handful of really quality people in my life that I know have my back, that I know can trust, I can count on, than have like a ton of people in my life that I consider friends that really aren't invested in my life. I'm not super invested in their life. I don't really know if they have my back. I just feel like as you get older, it's really about the quality of people that you're with versus like how many people you consider your BFFs. All right, the next thing is less technology. You know, I was really convicted a few years ago, probably 2 years ago, that I needed to stop being on my phone so much, especially when I have my son. You guys know that we split custody, so it's a week on, week off schedule. And I just started feeling really convicted because when I would have him, I just found I was always on my phone. You know, our kids grow up so fast as it is, and then you add to the fact that I already miss out on half of his life because he's with his dad every other week, that why would I give up special time with my son to be, you know, flipping through Instagram or, you know, watching YouTube videos when the time with my son is very precious. This also can apply to time with your friends, time with your family. I feel like we're so plugged into our phones all the time that we've really lost the like face-to-face interaction with people because we're so used to just, you know, following people online and being on our phones all the time. So for me, I have really worked hard on being on my phone a lot less. I'm not perfect. I still am on my phone, you know, probably more than I should be, but I am a lot better than I used to be. All right, so the next thing is money can't buy you happiness. Now that seems just like, oh, well, duh, it can't buy you happiness. But really it can't. Money cannot buy you happiness. I'm sure you all know that, but that was something that I learned a few years ago and it was quite eye-opening. So money cannot buy you happiness. It can buy you a lot of things, but joy and happiness is not one of those. Next thing is happy endings do exist. This is something that I don't know if I truly believed in for my life. I just thought like, there's no way I'm ever gonna find somebody that loves me, that loves Ethan, that, you know, knows what happened and is willing to deal with the baggage of that. Didn't believe that God could have somebody so great for my life, and he proved me wrong, and happy endings do exist. And granted, it's not like the ending, but it is a happy ending to like a really hard chapter in my life. And while our marriage is not perfect, no marriage is ever gonna be perfect, no matter how much you see on Instagram or social media. Everybody has issues. It's just a matter of how you deal with those issues and that you constantly are coming together and working together to have the best marriage that you can and choosing each other. Choosing each other is so important. So happy endings do exist. If you've had something crappy happen, if you've gone through a divorce, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can find love again. You can have a wonderful, great marriage and a wonderful, great relationship. Good guys do exist. Amazing men still exist. I am married to one, and so yes, happy endings are real. Real life fairy tales do happen, and I just want to give you guys hope that it is 100% possible for you too. And the thing that ties into that is God is good all the time. Now, no matter how crappy of a situation you're in, whether it's a divorce, an affair, you lost your job, a death, an illness, whatever it is, God is good all the time. He's good when things are great and he's good when things are bad. I feel like it's so easy when something bad happens in your life to blame God for that. And that's just not the right way to come about it. Trust me, I have been in crappy situations. I've had crappy things happen to me, and it's really easy to be like, God, how could you let this happen? God, how could you do this? But we're all given free choice, free will. He is not responsible for choices that other people make. And I just want you guys to know that no matter what you're struggling with, that God is good all the time. I truly believe that. The next one is, I feel like I look much better with a tan. Like I said, this is gonna be a mixture of funny things and not funny things. When I look back at my like super pale skin, I'm like, homegirl, you need a little sun, you need a little vitamin D in your life. I personally just feel I look better with a tan. My body looks better when I'm tan, my face looks better when I'm tan, my makeup looks better when I'm tan. I just feel that I look better with tanner skin, and I was born with the whitest snow skin ever. So I think that I look much better with the tan. All right, number 7, me and alcohol do not mix. I've never been a big drinker. I never went through a party stage at any phase in my life. I hate beer, I hate wine, I don't like cocktails really. I get horrible stomach aches, horrible headaches. I don't even like the taste of alcohol. It's more along the lines of just trying to like have a social drink with friends. I just realized that me and alcohol don't mix. It was never meant for me to drink alcohol. I'm a-okay by that because I actually don't like alcohol at all. So me and alcohol don't mix, and I'm not mad about it. Number 8, you are not defined by the things that happen to you. And like, I really want you to think about that, because it's really easy to have something bad happen to you, whether you were abused physically, sexually, emotionally, whether you were cheated on, whether you went through a divorce, like whatever the trauma is that has happened in your life, you're not defined by that. And it's not your story. It could be a chapter in your story that, you know, is a building block to the woman or the man you become, but it doesn't define you. I had somebody tell me once when they found out I was dating Ted and that he was younger than me, that like, why would a good looking younger guy be interested in an almost 30-year-old single divorced mom? And that was like, that hurt. It really hurt, because I'm like, is that how, it makes me emotional, because I'm like, is that how you view me? That is who I am to you, a divorced, almost 30-year-old single mom? Like, that's not, none of those things define who I am. And the fact that I'm divorced or a single mom is not my identity. Your identity is who Christ called you to be, and it is not a victim, it is not a divorcee. It's like, those are things that happen to you, but that does not have to be your identity. And like, I truly want you guys to believe that, because it is so easy to believe your identity is what someone else has done to you, and it's not. Whew, gosh, that made me emotional. And I'm sweating, so I need to take a quick second. All right, number 9 is love always wins. It always wins. No matter what the situation is, love always conquers, love always wins. You get so much farther in life by loving than hating. No matter how mean someone is to you, no matter how crappy someone is to you, no matter what people say to you or do to you, loving them, you will always win. You will always rise to the top if you love them. And truth is hurt people hurt people. If you're not hurting, you have no reason to go out and tell people that they're stupid, they're ugly, they're a B word, they're fat, you know, calling them the see you next Tuesday word. There's really no reason for anybody to talk like that to anyone else unless you're hurting from something going on in your life. And so when I see rude comments, it's not about me. They don't know me. Like, there's no reason for them to be so upset about me because I put on too much blush, or I said I hated a foundation and they love it. Like, that's not a serious issue, and that's not the issue, and their issue is not with me. Love always wins. No matter how mean somebody is to you, choose to love them anyways. And trust me, it is hard. I've had to do it in my life, but I can tell you this, it always, always wins. All right, number 10, forgiveness is freedom. Now, I want you guys to know, maybe you already do know this, maybe you don't, or maybe you just need to hear this. When you forgive someone, it is not about them. It's not about them feeling better. It's not about them being off the hook. It's about you. It's about your heart, your soul, your well-being, your bitterness. It's letting that go, because forgiveness is all about you. It is you choosing to not let them have control over your heart, over your mind, over your thoughts. And it is the most freeing thing you will ever do. You can forgive someone and not even tell them that you forgave them. But truly forgiving somebody will free your heart up. It gets rid of bitterness. It gets rid of resentment. You can have forgiveness towards them. And it has nothing to do with letting them off the hook. It has nothing to do with you saying, I'm okay with what you did. It has everything to do with you saying, you have no control over me. You have no control over my emotions and my heart and my thoughts, and I'm letting it go. And it's 100% about you. And I challenge you guys with that. If you have a lot of unforgiveness in your heart, whoever it is, I challenge you to really wrestle with working on forgiveness, because it'll absolutely change your life. Number 11, social media is a highlight reel of people's lives. Please don't compare yourself to other people that you see on social media. Easy to say, a little bit harder to practice. I struggle with this as well. But most people, 99.9% of people, are not posting the real life stuff that is happening in their lives. They're posting the snippet of what they want you to see. You don't know the whole picture. It's easy to look at pictures and be like, oh my gosh, they have a perfect life, a perfect house, a perfect family, perfect dog. You know, they get to go on these vacations, they have all the nice clothes, but you have absolutely no idea what is going on in their life. They could have all the nice things, but they could be in tens of thousands of dollars in credit card debt. You know, they could have beautiful photos of their family, but really struggle in their marriage. And like when I went through my divorce, I mean, the amount of people that were like, oh, I thought you guys had the perfect life, the perfect marriage, the perfect family, the perfect house. And it was like, you guys had no idea what was going on. I mean, I didn't even know some of the stuff was going on, but you guys had no idea, because who's gonna, show like, oh, this is what all the crap that's happening in my life. So please don't compare yourself to what you see on Instagram and what people choose to show you, because they're showing you the highlights and the highlight reel of their life. They're showing you the best moments of their life. And you can smile in a picture and everything can look hunky-dory. It doesn't mean that it's always that way. So everybody has problems, everybody has issues, everyone is just human, and nobody has a perfect life. So please try not to compare yourself to other people. Easier said than done, but yeah, just try not to do that. Number 12, my dream car was the Mercedes G-Wagon. Let's just be honest, a lot of people's dream car. But then I went and looked at one just for the sake of it. They have the tiniest backseat I've ever seen. Like, there's no leg room in the G-Wagon. If you have a G-Wagon or you've been in one, and maybe this was just the particular one I looked at that had no leg room, but I learned that the G-Wagon has absolutely no leg room in the back seat, and it would be completely unrealistic for me to ever own one as long as I have children. So that is definitely something that I've learned in the last 31 years. Number 13, younger guys could actually be wiser and more emotionally mature than older guys. I had went on dates prior to, dating Ted, and I had dated, a couple years younger to like 10 years older. Did I date someone 10 years older? Yeah, 10 years older. And honestly, Ted, who is 6.5 years younger than me, is more mature just in life and emotionally mature than pretty much every other person I have ever dated in my life. So age is just a number, and younger guys could actually be far more mature than most guys that are older than you. So just a little fun fact for you guys. Number 14, there's no love like the love you have for your kids. And this is like, I never could imagine or fathom what the love, like how much my heart was capable of loving a small little human. Nothing I would not do for that child. I would take a bullet 1,000 times for that kid, 1,000 times, 77 times 77 times infinity. Like, there's nothing I would not do for Ethan. The love that you have for your kids is like unlike anything you'll ever experience in your life. I just never knew my heart was capable of loving something or someone so much. Number 15, put God first always. Your relationship with God is going to help you in your relationship with everybody else. And putting God first really helps me love Ted better. It helps me love Ethan better. It helps me love myself better. Set your heart in a great position to love other people well. So I know not everybody that watches my videos is Christian or believes in God, and that is totally fine. But putting God first in my life is something that I have learned is so incredibly important. Number 16, have grace for yourself and others. This is an important one because I always tend to hold myself to an unrealistic standard sometimes, and then when I don't meet the standards that I have for myself. I get really hard on myself. I'm not perfect. My friends aren't perfect. If I'm not perfect, how can I expect other people to be perfect, you know? And that everyone is human, and to have a lot more grace for people when they mess up and when I mess up. And, you know, the next day you try a little bit harder. And a lot of the time that I've not had grace for myself is when it came to fitness stuff, because I get really hard on myself. And like, especially like recently in the last month, I haven't worked out very much, especially in the last 3 weeks. And I was constantly beating myself up. Like, you haven't worked out, you haven't worked out, you're so lazy, I can't believe you haven't worked out. And I really was like hard on myself. And then I'm like, I need to have grace for myself. Ted's grandpa just passed away. We were in Michigan, we came back, Ethan was really sick, I got really sick, and I have to have grace for myself in those moments. It's a lot easier said than done, but reminding myself that it's okay to relax, it's okay to have rest, it's okay to not be perfect all the time. Have grace for yourself, have grace for others, and your life will be a lot easier. Number 17, I found that I age like a fine wine. That's part joking, and honestly, I'm kind of partially serious. I posted a transformation photo a few weeks ago. I really feel I've had a massive glow up in the last, I feel like I've gotten better looking as I've gotten older. Partially that has to do with learning how to do my makeup better. Partially has to do with the fact that I had Botox, and that definitely helps smooth out some fine lines. And I just have realized that I'm far better looking than I was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I think a lot of it has to do with my hair color. I feel like this color is far more flattering on me than black, and platinum blonde didn't really look that great on me either, or that golden yellow blonde that I had going on. Also, brows look a lot better on me than no brows. So yeah, I definitely feel like I have aged quite nicely, actually. Next is healthy co-parenting does exist. Now, it's not perfect all the time, and it took many years to get where we are, but you can have a healthy co-parenting relationship regardless of the situation. So my situation was like not the easiest. You guys know, I was married, he had an affair with my best friend, they got married, they have kids, now we're all co-parenting together. Seems like a pretty impossible situation for all of us to get along, and yet through time, through healing, through the Lord, through having an amazing husband, an amazing support system, the Lord, forgiveness, grace, all of those things have worked hand in hand to allow for an actually really good co-parenting situation. Given like a messy situation, we actually co-parent really well. It's having a mutual respect for one another, and honestly loving your kids more than you dislike your ex. That's pretty simply put. They are the focus, and they are what's important, and you're the adult, and you got to figure it out. And so why not try to make it the best situation you can? It's not going to be easy. It takes a lot of swallowing your pride. It takes a lot of prayer. It takes a lot of wise counsel from people that you really care and trust, and that you know have yours and your children's best interest at hand. You can have a healthy co-parenting situation. It just takes both parents wanting to do what's best for your kids. All right, the next is investing in a relationship with your kids is one of the most important things you can invest in. At least for me it is. I really want to continue to have a really solid relationship with Ethan as he gets older. I want to be a safe place for him to be able to talk to about anything. You know, growing up, my parents didn't really talk to me about sex and drugs or alcohol. It was just like, no, it's bad. But I never like could talk to them about those things. And so it got hard, because then if you can't talk to your parents about it, then you end up relying on your friends. In our generation, our parents never talked to us about those things because they were uncomfortable. And so it was just, no, you will not do this. But there wasn't really the dialogue to be able to ask like, well, why? Like, why do you wait for these things other than the Bible tells you to or your parents tell you not to? You know what I mean? So investing in a solid relationship with your kids to give them a safe place to talk to you, I think is so incredibly important. And I want to continue to cultivate that relationship with my child and all of our future children that we have. Number 20, invest in your own emotional health. So important, so important. There's a lot that you go through in counseling, and you kind of dig down deep to why you have a lot of these feelings. Like I all of a sudden felt like intense sense of abandonment when I went through my divorce, and that I didn't even realize that I had those feelings from my biological dad giving me up to my stepdad to adopt me when I was 5. And then that brought up like, well, I wasn't good enough for my biological dad, so he gave me up, and I wasn't good enough for my husband, and he gave me up. And it really just like, it came crashing down. I had some really, really hard times. I kind of disappeared off YouTube for, you know, about 2 years. I was very inconsistent because I was going through so much, but I'm so happy that I did, because it made my heart whole again to fall in love and to really give all of myself to Ted with a whole healthy heart. So investing in your emotional health, I think counseling is amazing. It just really helps you process through your emotions and things that you're feeling, and it may bring up stuff that you didn't even like really realize why you were doing or saying or feeling the ways that you did. Oh, counseling is so good. Number 21, community is so important. I did not even realize how important it was, but you are not meant to do life alone. You're not meant to do marriage alone. You're not meant to do family alone. Having people in your life that are like your core people to call out truth in your life, to call out BS in your life, to hold you accountable, to like that genuinely care about the well-being of you, your family, your relationship is so important. All right, number 2 is stress less. Easier said than done, I know, but find things that you enjoy doing that help relieve stress, whether it's yoga, running, working out, some sort of crafts, whatever your hobby is. Find something healthy that helps relieve stress. When you are stressed, you're not just hurting yourself, it affects your relationships, your family, your kids, your workplace. If you are constantly high-strung and just full of stress, that just like, you feed that to everyone around you, and everyone else can feel that. Stressful things are always gonna happen in your life. And so find ways to relieve that stress. Whatever it is you love doing, try to make time to do that, and just try to like enjoy life a little bit more. 23, self-care. Taking care of yourself is so important. Whether that is just having quiet time, reading a book, taking a bubble bath, doing a face mask, painting your nails. Take time for yourself, because if you feel good about yourself, then it's just going to spill out in all other areas of your life. So take care of yourself, take time. It's not selfish. Please don't think that taking care of yourself is selfish, because it is not. You take care of everybody else all day long. It's perfectly fine and very healthy to take care of yourself. This number 24 was a doozy. So speak positively over yourself. Whew, this was something that actually really, really hit me hard, because, you know, Ted and I talk about having kids. And I just remember one day like looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh, my skin looks so bad. Just picking myself apart in the car. And I was like, and I looked at Ted and I was like, I need to stop this. And he's like, what? I'm like, if we have a little girl, I am talking so poorly about myself. How can I raise a little girl to love herself and find herself beautiful and not compare herself and not pick herself apart if I'm sitting here doing that myself? And it was like such an eye-opening moment, because if you're raising especially little girls, it's so important to not talk negatively about yourself, because your kids like your kids watch you. Even when you don't think they're watching or listening, they're watching and listening. Picking yourself apart, like you're just setting a really poor example for your kids. And that was like a really eye-opening moment for me when I was like, we're in the middle of talking about kids and I just start picking myself apart, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never want my daughter to hear me talk about myself this way, because I'm gonna be her role model and I don't want her talking about herself or thinking of herself in that way. So speak positively over yourself. All right, number 25, communication in your marriage is important. Never did I realize this until Ted and I got engaged and, going through premarital counseling, but communication is so important. Being able to share your feelings, to talk about your needs with your partner, and just even in regular friendships and relationships is so important. Ted has just taught me so much about how important communication is. And, he taught me that conflict is an opportunity to grow closer. Conflict doesn't mean divided. And, I feel like so much of my past history, if there was conflict that meant divided, it meant separation. Conflict was always bad, and I never knew how to do conflict to grow you together. And so having good communication and being able to go into a conversation being like, my heart is for you, and how can we come together in this and have this conflict bring us closer together is probably one of the biggest things I've learned in the last few years, is that conflict does not mean division. Number 26, don't take everything so seriously. Again, another thing I had to learn, because sometimes I can be a little bit sensitive, I can take things a little bit seriously. And so just like letting loose a little bit, having fun, being silly, laughing, being goofy, especially with Ethan, like it's okay to be silly and have fun and not take everything so seriously. You don't need to look perfect all the time. You don't need to be prim and proper all the time. It's okay to have fun and be silly and just not take yourself or life too seriously all the time. Number 27, speak with love towards others and be kind. I don't understand in this day and age why people are so mean on the internet. I don't know if it's because you can be anonymous and hide behind your computer screen, but I feel like people are so mean for no reason. I sometimes read comments and I'm like, I dare this person to look in the mirror and say this out loud and watch themselves say this. Like the stuff that people write, I'm like, why are you so angry? Like being kind and doing nice things for others gets you on such like an emotional high. Like I don't understand why people feel the need to be mean. Anytime I've ever been mean in my life, I literally feel like garbage. Even going through my divorce, no matter how mad I was at my ex, every time I said something mean, I literally felt like absolute garbage every time I did it. No matter if I felt he deserved it, no matter what, I just feel like absolute trash when I'm unkind to people. And I'm like, ugh, why would I want to feel like that? Why does anybody want to feel like trash? I would much rather be kind, spread kindness, spread kind words, spread love. That is going to get you so much farther in life. It's going to make your life so much better. It's going to free your heart up to love people well. And why do you want to go out spewing hate? I don't get it. So be kind, speak with love. Number 28, set realistic goals for yourself and a game plan on how to achieve them. Now, it's really easy to be like, oh, I want to do this, 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 and this. So not just having like an end game, but also like, how are you going to get there? Because it's really easy to be like, I want to make $1 million by the time I'm 40. Like that could be your goal. Well, how are you going to do that? You can't just like have a goal and not have a game plan. So have a goal and then have a game plan of how you're going to do it. All right, number 29, don't take things or people for granted. You know, life is short. We learned that, I've learned that a few different ways this month. Ted's papa passed away. Also, somebody that I've known for the last 10 years who was very close to a lot of super great people in my life passed away at 29 years old of a heart attack. Life is short. You don't know how long you have on this earth. You don't know how long your friends and family have on this earth. It can be taken away so fast. And yeah, just don't take people for granted. Don't take things for granted. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. So yeah. Always have a grateful heart. I have started every morning waking up and thinking of 5 to 10 things that I'm really grateful for. And it has really changed how my day starts. It has changed how I take on life, how I take on my day, how I interact with others, my perspective on a lot of stuff. And, just being grateful for big things and little things. The more you focused on the positive things that are going on in your life, the less time you have to think about the things that you don't have. And then the last but not least thing that I have learned is that my YouTube family is absolutely phenomenal. You guys are amazing. There's so many of you guys that have been with me from the very start. You saw me with blonde hair that was horrible. Eyebrows that I didn't know how to do, so I didn't do them. When I didn't know how to use an eyelash curler, when I had really weird blonde highlight extensions. Like, you guys are there with me from the beginning, when I swear I don't know why anyone followed my channel, all the way through the bad and back into the good. And you guys are absolutely amazing, and I am so incredibly thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for you guys subscribing, for commenting, for liking pictures on Instagram, for sharing my video, for sharing your life with me. When I went through my divorce, it was really hard because I felt I'm not gonna cry. I felt like I was in it alone because nobody in my personal life had gone through what I was going through, and nobody knew just how bad I felt, you know, like I felt betrayal, like I didn't know it was possible. Nobody really knew what to say to me. And so many of you guys took time to email me, to comment, to private message me, and let me know like, hey, I went through the same thing and now I'm remarried and for 20 years and my husband is amazing. And you have no idea how much that helped me, knowing that I wasn't alone. And if you are going through something similar, if you're going through a divorce or whatever it is, like you're not alone, and it does get better. And I'm so incredibly thankful for, you know, all of the love and support. Sharing your story or your testimony of what happened is really what helped me feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm not alone in this. I would never want that to happen to you guys. To know that I'm not the only one that it's happened to just made it so much easier through the healing process and the acceptance process. And so you guys are just absolutely amazing, and I'm so thankful to have a job as unconventional as it may be, where I really can share my life with you guys. You guys can share your life with me. I just, like, you guys are amazing, and I may never, ever, ever face-to-face meet you, but I feel like so many of you guys are like dear friends to me. And never did I think that I would have so many virtual, like, online friends, but I do, and I'm just really thankful for you guys. You guys are my friends. You guys are my family. I don't have like a cool name for the people that watch my videos. I know some people have, other YouTubers have like cool name for their squad. So if you have suggestions for a squad name for all of us, like let me know, because I would totally love to have one. I just didn't know what would be a good squad name. So if you have suggestions, leave them down in the comments and we can come up with like a fun name for our little family of, you know, people we have here. Thank you guys for your love and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this 31 things that I've learned in the last 31 years. Granted, most of them are probably like things I've learned in the last 10 years, but I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a great way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, because, you know, a lot of what we do talk about is makeup and beauty things, and it's kind of a little bit more of an insight into my heart and my life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it's a long video, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!